How are you doing?
I'm very well. What's been happening?
I went to England.
You did go to England. How was England?
England was good. We went to Colchester Zoo, which is one of the largest breeding zoos in Europe. That was good for my 5-year-old. He loved running around there. The only problem for me, lot of hills, so my feet by the end of the day were about twice the size they should be. But other than that, it was good. And we also went to Colchester Castle. However, the unfortunate part of that was the last bit we did was the prison, and it scared the crap out of my son.
Oh, no.
Just as we walked round the corner, there was, a screen with shadows of people on it, and somebody shouted just as we walked round the corner, and it scared the crap out of him. So,
Oh, okay.
and that was the last thing we did, so that's the lasting memory in his brain, you know.
Oh dear. So as castles go, is it a functioning castle or is it ruins with a little bit of stuff that's been...
No, it is a functioning castle. It's got a lot of exhibitions. It's the one that Boadicea set fire to. Or the original temple that was there, Boadicea set fire to during the Roman times. So the castle's been made in 3 parts. The bottom part is sort of Roman foundations, then there's Norman, and then it's sort of been finished off over the last years.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a successful trip. And actually, I met a lady from England on the plane on the way back who was flying up to Lapland for her first visit.
What was she looking for? What was she hoping to see?
She was going to meet a friend who was working there for 6 months.
Okay.
I just said breathe through your mouth, not your nose.
Yes. Wise advice. Wise advice. Yes.
Before I went to England, I had a bit of a panic and a run around, and I did DocPoint Festival on a much smaller scale than last year, to be fair.
Last year you were running around and taking directors and you saw lots of films. How many movies, films, documentaries did you catch this time?
Well, 4 films and a gig this time, because there was a documentary on a musician and then he played a gig in Savoy as well.
Nice.
I won't talk too much about that one because you can listen to my other podcast, which has a full review of the film and the show. That's 10,000 Hours of Indie, and you can find that on all the same platforms as this podcast, so I won't go into that too much. But I can tell you the guy had a very loyal fan base.
Where had they come from and how often had they followed him around?
This was his 5th or 6th trip to Finland, so he has been here quite a few times, but he's a sort of, how do I put it? He's a provocative gay icon, I would say.
Okay. A name. At least give us a name.
Ivo Dimchev.
Ivo Dimchev. Okay, there you go, listeners.
He wanted to be called Ivo Dimchev. He didn't want to be Ivo, which I understand.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But Bulgarian artist, so I ticked off another on my 80 Bands Around the World project, so that's the main thing.
Well done.
So
that's very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, I didn't get to any gigs while I was in the UK. But, DocPoint. I saw 4 films while I was there. I had a director from Sweden whose film I Love Russ is about, I wouldn't say failed Hollywood actor, but it's about somebody who's eternally an extra.
Okay.
I have to say, I didn't see that film. I saw the last 15 minutes when we turned up to do Q&As afterwards. But I didn't see the film, so I'm still waiting on seeing a copy of that, which I'm going to be sent over because I showed around the director and the producer.
Nice.
So, when the director was resting, the producer was drinking with me.
Hard life.
The thing is, I'm a host, so I've got to do what the people I'm showing around want to do.
True.
I mean, I made it to the Photographic Museum and Chiasma with Tova, who was the director. And then when she crashed, Daniel said, "Hey, I'm in the bar, come and join me."
Why not? Why not?
But yeah, overall the film festival was good. I believe, but I couldn't find the statistics for this, I believe this was the 25th DocPoint Film Festival.
I think you're right. I vaguely remember saying something about which number it was.
So I saw a film in Swedish, English-Swedish, I saw a film in Finnish, and I saw a film in Icelandic.
Icelandic, okay. How was that? Because some words are similar to Swedish. I've been watching this...
I found that, and yet Swedes deny the fact that it's a similar language.
I don't know that it's similar, but there are words, you can hear the words, and they're used in the same way, so...
Well, it was set in an old people's home.
Oh.
It's called The Ground Beneath Our Feet. It was the one that Tova wanted to see, so I went with her, my director. So yeah, we went to see that. And it was quite depressing, in my opinion. She thought it was quite uplifting, but I think different people see different things in stuff. So it was just about people who have an awful lot of time sitting around waiting for God, as it were.
Well, it could be very uplifting if you ask the right question.
The one thing I took from it was there was this lovely old guy who was in there with his wife, and every morning he went out on his walking frame and he walked just to the sort of end of the drive, back round the plants and back, and every morning he prayed for his wife, and I thought that was very sweet.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly the same words every single day, so every time there's a sort of new chapter of it, he would do this, and that happened about 4 times in it.
Okay.
Zlatan's nose was weird. That's about...
Zlatan's nose?
Well, there's a statue outside one of the football grounds, I believe it's Malmö in Sweden, put up of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, because that's where he started his career.
Yeah.
However, a couple of days after the statue was erected, mass hysteria and huge crowds and everything, he announced he was buying a stake in Hammarby, which is one of the big rivals in the league.
Oh.
So the statue constantly got defaced and everything like that, and somebody cut the nose off. So the documentary is about hiring a private investigator to try and find the nose.
No.
However, it turns out the backstory is this private investigator is a bit of a con, and it ends up being his backstory about him being quite a lonely old guy who's really into spy films and all this kind of stuff.
Okay, a twist inside a twist.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite what I was expecting, but it's a good film. It's only about 75 minutes long, so it's not going to take much of your time, but if you get the chance to see it, it's a good one.
Is there much football in it? You know how I feel about football.
There's no football whatsoever.
No football, okay, very good. Then that's a film for me.
I think for you and me, especially as people learning Swedish, it's quite useful because it's a lot of English, but there's some Swedish thrown in at times as well.
Nice.
So it might be a good educational film for you.
Okay, speaking of learning Swedish, guess what I've been watching?
I'm trying to think of something in Swedish. I don't know. Go on.
Bäst i test. There's a version in every country, and you have the judge, and you have the person that sets the tasks. I think it's Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
I've been watching the Swedish one and trying really hard not to read the subtitles so I can actually understand what they're talking about. And it's been challenging. Funny but challenging.
Challenging is the word, isn't it, with things like that, yeah. I do want to mention one more film, though. Timo Lassi is probably Finland's most renowned saxophone player. And there's a film about him called Where the Saxophone Burns. And it's all about him approaching middle age, having had a bit of a midlife crisis, splitting up with his long-term partner, etc., and wanting to do something different with his playing. He had given up for several months, didn't even pick up his saxophone. And he comes back to it and decides he wants to create a solo piece that's about his emotions and feelings during this period. There's not much talking, it's typically Finnish. And to be fair, the first half of the documentary makes him look a bit lost and a bit incapable of speech, but it gets better. The only issue I have is it's very arty, and the fact for 10 minutes of it, it's a camera staring up his saxophone with him pressing the keys.
Okay.
And making more noise than anything. It does make sense at the end, I won't give it away, but it's an interesting look, but it could have been about 20 minutes shorter.
Okay, but one for the fans, definitely.
Definitely, because the second half of the film is the live performance of what he's talking about at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And if you're a music fan in general, and especially if you're a jazz fan, it's a good watch. We
are right in the middle of skiing holiday.
It's nice and quiet taking my son to daycare.
We noticed on the weekend, we're in a couple of places where normally there's lots of people and lots of dogs. So like, where is everybody? It's like, skiing holiday. So yes, week 8 is the week for southern Finland to enjoy their skiing holiday. Judging by the busyness I heard about at the airport late last week, I think a lot of people were also flying somewhere warm and sunny.
It was busy with people going out when I came back to the airport.
Yeah.
On Friday. So, otherwise, there's not been a lot going on over the last couple of weeks, except DocPoint and UK, really.
So, this is just a community service announcement. If you are walking on the ice, please be very careful when you're walking on the ice. And if you don't have already, you should get these nice little ice pick things that you can hang around your neck so that if you get into trouble, you can get yourself out of trouble. Last weekend, a car, okay, this is a bit irresponsible, so maybe we shouldn't talk about this. A car went into the ice off Hancock.
Bit heavier than a human.
Bit heavier than a human, but they'd driven a fair way out. So, the ice, if there's nothing breaking it up, it can become quite thick, but yeah, we should be careful.
And before our next episode, we have Kalevala päivä.
We do, yes, which is... What day?
Oh, you're asking, sorry.
Sorry.
Saturday the 28th is Kalevala päivä.
It is.
For anyone who doesn't know, where have you been? Kalevala is Finland's national book.
It's the Finnish epic. But it's also... Kaleva, Kalevi, Kalev is also quite important in Estonian mythology as well. So it's not just in Finland. And there is a very nice chocolate brand that comes from Estonia called Kalev. They do a really good white chocolate with blueberry, which is seriously good. My favourite Estonian chocolate.
Heather, have you ever read the Kalevala?
I have not. I haven't read it in Finnish and I haven't read it in English. Maybe that could be a project for 2026. Okay, so I'm actually, because I haven't read it, I'm actually not going to say anything, but a lot of the names and the characters of Kalevala certainly appear in Finnish.
Well, there's a lot of businesses that are named after
or have
various
used,
characters and things.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same in every language, isn't it? I mean, in Greece, you've got lots of companies that use Greek gods and mythology and things like that. So I think it's kind of a tradition throughout the world to take your national book and rip it into many pieces and turn it into something else.
True.
I think if we quizzed majority of Finns, you'd find only about 5 to 10% have actually read it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to ask Alex what they actually studied at school.
My kids have not studied the Kalevala. The next episode is going to be in Melancholia, which we're recording later this week to go into the week after. How is your research going, Heather?
My research is going very nicely, thank you very much. I have a really cool place to go.
We'll start with Kontula, and if we don't get mugged, we can do the other 4 areas.
Indeed.
All right, well, thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Dan.
We'll be back soon. There is one more event upcoming that I forgot to mention. A new format of comedy event in Villa Eläintarha, Kallio, will take place on Wednesday the 25th of February. Let It Slide, hosted by one of our previous guests, Jason DeBose, will feature 6 comedians, a mix of Finnish and English, supported by visuals on a giant screen. With 2 shows, the first beginning at 5 p.m, it promises to be a night of full-on belly laughs. Tickets for that are from €12 and are available through Biletti Bisteffi.